Well, so how did you end up becoming the Sam Choy of business as well? Because yes, we know your success in cooking and all of it, but then you also had to learn business along the way, right? And then you have so many different avenues of
business.
income.
I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer with business, but common sense does play a little role in it. But kind of like just reading and I'm not a good reader too. Ooh, that's even scary there. But just kind of understanding, the relationship of the deal. I think that's important. And then your vision, looking at where you want to be. Like when I first got to go to New York to work at the Waldorf Astoria, that was kind of funny, sitting up on the 34th floor, looking down, seeing all these yellow cars, all the taxis, the sirens going up and down 24/7, and pinching yourself, going like, is it real? Is it real? Man, I just came from Kauku, man. The only thing was going up and down was the cane trucks, You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so the vision part of it was a real important part, Kamaka. Just the sight, setting the goals, setting the standards, and then bring one of the most hardest thing or easiest thing I have is to work hard. And I think that's where a lot of local people achieve their success in hard work.
I agree. I might talk about it in my book.
Yeah. We got a book.
Yeah, it's my book.
Oh my God. I hope I get one.
Yeah, I get it. But you don't know how to read, so I got you an audiobook.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there's an audiobook available.
Oh man,
So
now
no need to read.
Now you're way ahead of the game. But yeah, so going back to all of that, it's basically just the part of hard work and the part of just setting the sights high. My dad always had a saying: set your goals high, because when you fall, you're falling on the roof.
Yeah.
And another thing he always told us, he told me most of the time, because I was home working with him in the store. He had a little grocery store. If you pay for peanuts, you're gonna get monkeys. So I always kind of like those sayings, And you might not remember, I always use this, you might not remember what you ate a year from now at the restaurant you went to. And you might not remember what you ate from a year from now. But you'll never forget how you got treated. And that is so true.
Yeah, there's a saying that I share that I learned when I was in the Peace Corps. It was from, I forget who it was.
Is it in your book?
No, it was, I shared it on the podcast before, but it was like, you people will forget what you say, they'll forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you made them feel, right? And that's always, like, for example, I don't really remember the specific things I've watched you on or the shows that I've seen recently with you, but I remember, you was always super friendly. I remember you had so much aloha. I remember you connected well with everybody that I saw you with on TV, and that's what I remember. Like, he's a cool guy.
Yeah,
that's what I remember from you.
Kamaka, I tell you what, that is one of my blessings, or blessed to have. People who I've met like for the first time, that's exactly what they tell me. I never knew who you was till I sat back on my chair on the plane, and I kind of went on on the internet, and I said, this guy's a celebrity. He's Wikipedia. He's this. He's that. He's a James Beard.
He get his own dressing.
Yeah, he get his own dressing. Yeah, you're right. He's coming back. But anyway, you don't really know that until people tell you. It's like when I get introduced, they start talking about me, and I went, "Did I do that? Really? Is that me? They're talking about me?" But yeah, just overall, I think the most really nice thing about that is, you don't stack it up. You just kind of just keep moving on. Imua. I love the word imua. Just go forward. Keep going. And I just I got to go back to saying that I am blessed. Got a great family, great wife, hardworking wife, great friends. Great circle. That's what I call circle, right? Great circle. And the family is really important, right? But people that meet me for the first time, that's what they all say. God, I never, you're amazing. I feel like I've known you forever. But we just met on this 5-6 hour flight. Some of the most best conversations I had was on a plane next to I should have wrote a book on all the people that sat next to me.
Wait, you wrote a book about
No,
it?
I said I should have.
Oh, you should?
Yeah,
that'd be
cool. I got their names, I got their phone numbers, and every now and then, in the beginning, while it's still, new, we kind of go back and forth, and after that, and out of clear blue sky, just like the other day, this girl Tiffany that I met in Florida at Livongo over at this place here out there in St. John's at a private island. The Snyder family owns an island out there. We met, she's a writer, and she just dropped the line, oh, I just saw your picture on a menu on the flight, you know. Out of the clue, like 2 years ago, you know, we met. I said, oh, how you doing? No. What you doing? I said, still doing the same thing. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, so, and I think a lot of it because we come in Hawaii. We're from Hawaii. You know, some of the things I like to do is when I get really knotted up is just be home, you know, be home with my dogs, my wife.
Slow down. Yeah.
Put the parachute on, slow down,
yeah.
you know. You like that, huh?
Yeah, I never.
You know, smell a pot of Portuguese bean soup going. Or like, oh, I got a nice piece of fish in there. I'm going to make a nice bowl of poke. You know, sometimes I do way too much. And then, of course, with the cooking show here locally, I'm so blessed to have that show. Not because I'm on TV, but it's because we're sharing a lot of interesting things that are in Hawaii. You know, people's homes, open up the refrigerator. I mean, how many people would have the guts and, you know, I can't use the B word, but the guts and B word to open up the refrigerator and throw a camera in there and bring out their food. You know, that's rough in Hawaii, right? But we've been doing it for 11, it's coming up on 11 years.
Is that the one with John Vaneri?
John Vaneri. Yeah. And of course, you know, his dad lives in Volcano. Yeah. Mr. Vaneri lives up there. And I am so lucky to be with that team, you know, from Reese and Jen, and of course John Vaneri, and of course Christina Lockwood, the general manager, who gave me the shot. You know, started off years ago with a YouTube kind of thing. We went to people's house, and Richard Gonzalez.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, I had that long time ago because, you know, when I did an event in the mainland, and, you know, Alice Waters, one of the top female chefs in America, legend chef, you know. And she said, you know, the problem with America, we throw away so much food that our kids go to bed without eating. Our kids go to school without eating, you know. And we're chefs. We got to stop doing it. We got to help, you know, slow that down. Always was in my head, you know. I mean, look at the food. I don't want to mention names because they could be my sponsors, but some of the big stores in Hawaii, how much food they throw away because of a law. You know, they don't want to get sued because somebody gets sick. They sue them, you know.
Oh, there's like a shelf life that you have to get rid of it.
Yeah. Or, you know, there's a shelf life on it, you know, stuff like that. But it's by the millions of dollars that they throw away, you know. And so if we can control that, not only to have food, but you can imagine the price of food will go down because they got food to sell. Think about that, right? Yeah. But yeah, so I've always said that. So when I had that opportunity to do that, Richard Gonzalez, Bullet, that's his name. He does movies called Bullet. You know, he works for Lāʻie now, right? But anyway, we shot that, you know, 4, 5, 6 shows. And then I just said, man, this thing got to go somewhere else besides just whoever gets online, right? But see, I wasn't like you. I mean, you're smart. You went after the bigger viewers, right? So anyway, boom, we went on there, and Christina Lockwood gave it a shot, and we've been now on the 11th year. Great team, Reese, Tay, Jennifer, man, she's the glue. And then, of course, John Vaneri, you know, my I don't want to say my sidekick, but, you know, he's the voice of it, you know. Because the guys go like, hey, Sam never talks. I said, yeah, I do talk, but I talk with the knife and the cooking.
Yeah, you do your talking in another way.
I do my talking in the yum part.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so it's been a great ride, you know. Awesome. And you know, and the whole thing started off to kind of like teach people how to make food with leftovers. Yeah. But yeah.
Cool.